Today's Q&A is about going no contact. I'm recording at the moment some videos on the narcissist and sex, or the emotional abuser and sex. And it's really hard calling people narcissists because they need to be diagnosed by a professional. They can't take responsibility because they're basically children in adults' bodies. So, and I was at the courts on Monday, and I was talking to somebody, and she's been really ill following a whole process. So this is the whole point of the divorce sanctuary. It's somewhere to calm and that's safe, where you can tell your story, because that isn't something that happens during this whole process. There are so many lies and so many stories that are made up, or they're half-truths, or what the court is being told is actually what their behaviour, what they've done, how they're behaving, and you really need somewhere to go and be heard and be acknowledged and be validated for what you've actually experienced. So that's the whole point of the divorce sanctuary and why we're here. I was talking to somebody and she'd been ill with shingles. She was just telling me about the horrific experience and how she was ready to give up, and that's really common. Ready to give up. I can't do this anymore because of the fabrications, because of the lies, because they can't take responsibility, and so they turn it around and it's all your fault. So that's the whole point of being here, is healing before you get to that point. Having the strength and the clarity of mind. It's a painful process anyway. Getting divorced is a painful process, but actually doing it with somebody who's emotionally abusive, who can't take responsibility for the part that they played, who puts the blame on you and then tries to get away with as much as they can, and manipulating all the people around them and playing the victim and using the children as pawns as well, using them as a bargaining tool. I want to help as many people going through this, one, to understand what happened and why it happened, two, to heal as quickly as possible, but to help them and put them in a position they can negotiate, they can come out with something that works for them, so they're not manipulated even further. That's what I just wanted to get across, the whole point of being here. It's a safe space to talk, to have your story heard, and build up your strength. If you think about it as a car battery, and your energy or you're like a car battery, and you've got your energy and it's been sucked out of you by the emotional abuser. There's absolutely nothing left. You've just got enough to start the car. So with a car battery, the majority of the energy is taken out in that starting of the process, the starting of the car. And then as we move along in our car, we've got the alternator that charges up the battery, so it sends the energy back in, so the battery is always being topped up. When you've been in an abusive relationship, it's just as if it's leaking, or the alternator's not working. It's never being topped up, or as soon as it's being topped up, it's being sucked back out of you. And you've got nothing left. There's absolutely nothing left of you. You've been drained of absolutely everything. And every attempt that you get at charging your energy back up again is sucked back out. And this is making sure that you're keeping those levels topped up. It's as if they plug into you and they're able to withdraw at any point, or they're a cash point and they've got access to your account and they can withdraw the energy at any point. And this is about, in fact, this leads me on to what the question was about, no contact, that I was just going to talk about. But the sanctuary is about making sure that you're kept in a container long enough to top up. So if you are dealing with these people, and you are dealing with maybe solicitors, or whatever it is, who's maybe they're doing all the negotiations, you're doing it between yourself or through a mediator, because it's so frustrating when they're playing the victim, when they're pretending all this stuff happened to them and actually that was their behaviour to you. It's so frustrating. I even remember years ago walking out of a mediation, was all about them playing the victim. The children didn't even come into the equation. And it's the manipulation of money and the moving around of money and stuff like that. So that's what the divorce sanctuary is. The most frustrating thing is being in this environment and listening to all these lies, knowing they're actually talking about themselves and how they manipulated you, but they, in their head, and the way they've done it is they've turned it around and it's you're manipulating them. So that leads me on to going no contact. And the question was, so I'm struggling with no contact at the moment, and I know it's what I must do to live a happy life. I need to share what happened and ask for help to get me through this. I was strong for for 6 weeks, and some I've been stuck back in. It's a really strange scenario. It's really strange. So my experience is that you come out of the relationship completely shell-shocked, and you come out of the relationship with sigh of relief. Oh my God. And you can breathe, and that pressure's been taken off, but it only lasts a short period of time because they're either there hoovering, or you start to feel a need, a craving for these hormones. As part of the love bombing stage, you were attached and you got used to the release of oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone. You were told and you were fed information. You might have been treated in a way that you'd never experienced before. You might be validated in a way. You might be seen or heard in a way that nobody else has ever seen or heard you. Makes you feel unique, and it makes you feel special. And then they withdraw that. So you get used to these hits, this hit of these hormone releases in your body. So going through that is a withdrawal process. So initially, say for the first few weeks or the first week or the first few days, you can breathe. Oh my God, the pressure, and it feels so good. And then all of a sudden, it's where's the next hit coming from? And it doesn't help if they are attempting to hoover. You might be getting messages or text messages, emails. And this is what no contact is, actually cutting everything, cutting all ties, all strings. And this is one of the reasons you need to go cold turkey. And it is like coming off a drug. It's really painful. If you have children, it's really hard, because if you're sharing custody, having this person, trying to negotiate. So what I would say is, particularly if you've got children, get someone to mediate over visiting, whether you can get someone to take your children to a certain place that they're met, not be in the house when they turn up, so somebody else is doing that, so you're completely breaking and having nothing to do with them. No contact is just deleting everything, but I appreciate it's really hard when you've got children. But see if you can get as much as the ground rules sorted, whether it's maintenance payments. They might withhold payments and money just to, to punish you in some way. So even if they've abused you, they still feel that because you haven't done what they wanted and withdrawn the attention and the supply, you might not have had anything left anyway, but you might have withdrawn it, and it's a form of punishment. How do you do no contact? No contact, how do you get through that stage? I'm going to say the best thing you can do is take a bath. And it's such a weird thing. If you are able to get some bath salts, Epsom are okay. Himalayan are amazing. They've got more qualities or more properties in them, but it helps balance. Drink as much water as you can and stay grounded and stay out of your head. Okay, it hurts. It really hurts, and you go over and over and over that relationship. You try to pick it apart and put it back together, and you try to you might try to rearrange it. If only you'd done something, if only you said something, if you hadn't done something, hadn't said something, and you tried to replace it, it's done. The hoovering process is either to gain more fuel from them and they have no intention of coming back, or it's part of the cycle to keep you trapped even more. So the next time they take you through, they'll take you back. Oh, low battery, I'm gonna have to go in a minute. They'll take you back around to the love bombing stage, then the devaluation stage, then the discard stage. If you can keep really strong and stay away from the hoovering. If you get an email or a text message or a WhatsApp message or a messenger message, any form of contact, pick your phone up or whatever it is it's come on and move it to a different room and go and sit somewhere else. And then concentrate. I have got, and this is part of what I'm going to be doing this week, is I have recorded some videos on grounding, but I'm just going to do one now. So you literally come into your body, you feel yourself and your body, and you put your feet on the floor with no shoes, and you visualize roots coming out, and they're going into the earth, and they're going out like a tree. The roots are coming out from a tree, and they are going in and grounding you and making it firm within that environment. And then you take your attention just below your belly button. It's called the tanden area. And just breathe in and take the breath down. It's just below. It's where anyone doing martial arts like karate or judo or something like that, that's where they breathe into. They breathe and take their energy in there. Stay out of your head, because your head is going to take you back into that relationship. Keep grounded and stay in your body. If you can take a bath, go and have a bath with bath salts, because it replaces some of the nutrients that are withdrawn from you. Particularly magnesium is going to be a big one. The stress levels are really high. Move your phone to another room. Just get it out of eyesight and concentrate on being in your body and not in your head. And then if you can, at some point, write out your story and then try and remember, or find something that reminds you of why you're out of this relationship, how painful it was, and why you're better off out of the relationship, and keep that somewhere, whether it's a video or a passage from a book or something, and keep reminding yourself. Don't remind yourself of the good times, because this is the craving of the drug. You're craving that love bombing, when they were so nice to you, when they took you here, when they did this, when they said whatever. That's what you're craving. And you're forgetting. It's a bit like childbirth. When you give birth, you forget how painful it was, because you'd never do it again. But we don't want to do this again. So we want to remember how painful this was. Okay, but your body's tricking you. It's tricking you into believing this was okay. So we want to remember how painful it was, so that we don't get back in. So we're not sucked back into that relationship and we look at their comments and laugh, or we look and go, really, whatever it is that you're reading. But we're trying to stop those triggers, and you want to stop that craving, the craving for the hormone addiction that you have. Okay, because it's an addiction, like it's an addiction to drugs. And this is why people say it's like coming off heroin. I've never done heroin. I don't know. That's what people say. This craving is horrific, and it's like coming off drugs. And no contact is going to help you do that. No contact is the way to go. If you can't do it, go grey rock. Get a grey rock and try and have a conversation and get some information out of it. You can't. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to take on the persona of a grey rock. Okay? Be interesting as a grey rock. When somebody has a conversation with you or tries to get some information out of you, it's yes, no, or you don't answer. Just don't give any information away. And they get bored, because they need supply. They need someone to supply them with attention. So they get bored and off they go. Okay? It is painful. It's really, really horribly painful, painful experience of withdrawal. And it goes on. It can take a long time to get over this. So don't get caught up. So when you're in this process of going through a divorce or a breakup, they're going to use everything to get a reaction from you. They're going to use absolutely everything they've got. And it's all going to be about them. And you've got to pull back in, go down to your tanden, go down to this energy center and stay grounded. Being in your body won't let your mind go chattering off and it won't, and you won't get carried away with these emotions of wanting to get back in the relationship, and you can heal from the hormone fix that you're so craving. So there we go. I hope that's really, really helpful, and sending you loads and loads of love. Stay in the container. If you need anything, put it in the message box below, and it's monitored, and or send a messenger message. Sending you loads and loads and loads of love.